Today we're going to check out the second and one of the most popular finishes of the first iteration of the LTD Alexi-600, the black with the yellow pinstripes. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in once again. And if you don't mind, please hit that like button for me. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to stay up to date as I release each documentation video of the Alexi-600s that I've released so far, go ahead and hit that bell notification button for me as well. Last week we covered a 2006 model, white finish with the black solid pinstripes. And for a 20-year-old guitar, this has definitely withstood the test of time. As I previously stated, this is one of the best guitars I've ever owned. Now in today's episode, we're going to cover the second finish of the first iteration of the Alexi-600, and we have a 2007 model to document today. So let's get into it. So this week we have the black finish with the solid yellow pinstripes. And this is probably one of the most popular finishes of the Alexi-600. I think it's probably one of the most popular because it's very reminiscent of his Arrowhead guitar, which was black with yellow pinstripes, and then you had the Arrowhead inlays. And up until this year, that wasn't available in the LTD version. You could only get that in the Edwards or the ESP version. I think one of the reasons why the Arrowhead guitar was so popular is because it's very reminiscent of his early Randy Rhoads Jackson guitar that was black with yellow pinstripes and had the yellow Wild Child sticker on it. And that guitar has been dubbed the Stone guitar because it was inspired by Ropa Latvala's guitar whenever he was in Stone. And Ropa Latvala was actually one of Alexi-600's biggest inspirations prior to joining Children of Bodom. So I think for me, one of the reasons why I love this finish so much is because when I think of Alexi's most iconic guitars, one of the ones I think of is the Arrowhead that has the big CKY scratched into it, right? And I've always wanted to recreate that guitar. And I think recently it became available through the ESP custom shop, but at the price tag that they are offering that for, I don't know if I want to pay for a scratched up guitar, right? So maybe with the LTD version coming out later this year, I might have to recreate that. We'll just have to wait and see. But for the time being, let's get into the specs on this one and see what it's all about. So here we have both models side by side, and I will say that out of all of the Alexi-600 releases, these two are the most identical. You do get a number of variations from one model to the next, and with these two you get the exact same body shape, the same neck feel, the same materials, and with the exceptions of very minor variations, they're pretty much identical. Now on the black and yellow one, you will get the strap button always closer to the center with the output jack a little further down the horn. And on the really early white and black ones, you get the strap button further down the horn with the output jack a little more centered. Just one of those details to note. I don't think I've ever found a yellow and black one with the strap button towards the end of the horn, but maybe one of you guys have. If so, let us know. So the 07 LTD Alexi-600 does have the same Alder offset V-shaped body, the 3-piece maple neck with neck through construction. It is advertised as a thin U neck shape. The ebony fingerboard, the Alexi sawtooth inlays. It does have a 42 millimeter nut, 24 extra jumbo frets, black nickel hardware, and Grover tuners, just like the other one. And we have the same Floyd Rose 1000 series bridge, and as you can see, that is not the Seymour Duncan that should probably be in there, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. On these older models, the pinstripes don't actually meet in the center, where on the newer ones, they would kind of come up here, and they would almost be perfectly lined up. Where on these older ones, you get kind of this afterglow effect in the corners. Maybe some of the black finish seep through or something. You can see up here at the top a lot more. And also, these center lines is more straight, where on the newer ones, they would kind of match the outer lines, which are made to match the bevels. So to get back to the pickup situation, obviously this isn't the Seymour Duncan that would have come from the factory in this guitar. Now this particular finish did offer both the EMG H4 or the Seymour Duncan Blackout, and was the only one to offer the Seymour Duncan Blackout. But anytime I find them, they tend to be swapped out with something else. They went with an EMG 81 in this guitar at some point in time, which scoops the mids, gives you a more compressed tone, and in my opinion is kind of an anti-Alexi tone, considering his entire preface was boosting the mid-range. So hopefully I can find one that still has the Seymour Duncan installed in it at some point in time for my personal collection. But as we move over to the back side of the guitar, you'll see that we do have the routing for the 9-volt battery already there. Another option could be installing the MMO4 booster, just make it a little bit easier. Onto the back plate, this one's not installed. However, we do have the pre-drilled holes, and normally it would be on there. My buddy just doesn't have it installed before loaning me the guitar. ESP and Edwards typically wouldn't have the pre-drilled holes and no back plate. And then on this model, we have the flat back with the belly carve, no pinstripes, no COBHC. So these models do come with the finish necks and are one of the few to offer the finish neck. And all Alexi-600s advertise to have a thin U neck shape. However, these earlier models definitely feel noticeably thicker compared to the newer models. But just in general, all Alexi-600s are very inconsistent in neck size from one release to the next, until you get to the newer models with the hex and the rip. Then they become a little bit more consistent. Personally, I prefer to have a little bit thicker neck, something to kind of hold on to while playing. And ESP and Edwards do offer those thicker necks. So something to keep in mind whenever you're thinking about getting an older versus a newer model. Well guys, that's all I got for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I was able to answer any questions you may have had. If I missed anything, or if you have any other questions about the model, go ahead and drop them down in the comments for me. If you have any additional information I may have missed, maybe some details I didn't go over, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. You know, the more information we have on these is better. We can historically document them, and that's kind of the whole point of all these videos, right? So unfortunately, I don't own this particular model. It was loaned to me by my buddy Israel, so shout out to Israel. But hopefully I can find one that's got the Seymour Duncan already installed in it, or still installed into it. Then I can get some better tone videos, some videos of me actually playing the guitar more. But next week we do have a special one. We are going to go over Pinky. So this was a very limited release, very few and far between out there. So, and there's some cool details, cool historical facts about this one as well that we're gonna go over. So I really think y'all are gonna like this video. But until then, keep shredding, and I'll see you in the next one.